Now, I've covered a few other fragrances from this brand, specifically the Amber Oud line. They do have their interpretation of Green Irish Tweed by Creed. I believe they also have one for Baccarat Rouge by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Here we have one that is getting compared to Bleu de Chanel. This one is called Amber Oud Bleu Edition, not to be confused with Exclusive Bleu, which is their version of Leighton by Parfum de Marly. Nevertheless, I'm going to tell you all about this fragrance in just a little while, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Haramain Amber Oud Bleu Edition, I'm going to compare it to Bleu de Chanel. I'm going to tell you if I personally think it's a suitable replacement, and I'll talk to you about the smell, notes, performance, longevity, comparisons, all that good stuff. But before I start the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and also please give this video a thumbs up as well for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So, you look at the note breakdown, it seems very bright, fresh, vibrant, citrus leaning. There's grapefruit, lemon, there's also mint, pink pepper. So it seems very bright, very citric. It seems like it's going to be in that Bleu de Chanel territory. And then you look at the dry down and there's also olibanum, which is a type of incense. And of course, that's also found in Bleu de Chanel. Here we also have sandalwood and patchouli. So it seems like there's going to be this contrast between very bright, refreshing, citrusy ingredients and also very dark, long-lasting, potentially still fresh ingredients, depending on the variety used. I'm going to tell you all about the smell in just a little while. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get a ton of citrus. So it opens up very bright, very zesty. Of course, you do have the lemon, the grapefruit, and it's not too tart the way that grapefruit normally is tart, especially when you smell it in a few other fragrances. I know the first one that comes to my mind is Tiger by Bulgari. You're not going to get that type of a grapefruit in this one, but instead you are going to get more of like this generalized citrus accord in the opening, which is really nice as a matter of fact. Of course, I also see the note of mint, and it doesn't smell too minty or mentholated. It doesn't have the capacity to open up your nasal passages. I know there are a lot of fragrances on the market, like Mr. Burberry by Burberry being one of them. That one has a really nice amount of mint, and there's also Cartier's Roadster Sport. So there are a lot of great mint-based fragrances on the market. I wouldn't purchase this one for the mint though. The citrus is very, very nice. And of course, you give this one a chance to settle down and you are going to get still this oceanic vibe that is in here. And it works its way very nicely in this composition, I would say. And of course, the olibanum, it gives it this sort of earthy presence, which I think combines with the patchouli very nicely. So the question is this a suitable replacement for Bleu de Chanel? I think if the price is right, it could be. I think Bleu de Chanel still does its own thing, and there is something special about Bleu de Chanel that I really enjoy, especially the Eau de Toilette version. Of course, you can go with some of the other concentrations on the market, the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum version, but there's something about this one where it smells a bit more oceanic, whereas with Bleu de Chanel, I feel like it had more of that sort of a refined, not to suggest that this one is not refined, because it is. And I really enjoy how professional it smells, great for an office environment, super versatile, and I really admire that about this fragrance. But I am convinced there's something different about this in comparison to Bleu de Chanel, where I kind of feel like Bleu de Chanel is a bit more on the darker side of things. This is more on the brighter side of things. And so I don't think it's a carbon copy of Bleu de Chanel. I don't think it's a replacement for it either, but it's 100% in the same family as Bleu de Chanel. So if you're a fan of Bleu de Chanel, you're looking for something that is maybe a bit fresher, a bit more citrus leaning, I would try Bleu Edition by Haramain Amber Oud. Check it out. I think it's a great fragrance, solid, easy to wear, easy to pull off, compliment getting DNA, and the longevity is there too. So those are all good things that people look for in fragrances: long-lasting, great smell, versatility, professionalism, well-groomed, smells refined, and I think it ticks off all the boxes. let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I don't think it's the most unique fragrance on the market. I think it is a bit redundant, especially if you already have Bleu de Chanel in your collection. However, I think the impetus for getting this one, if you already have Bleu de Chanel, is if you seek something that's a bit brighter, fresher, more on the citrus side of things. I know there's pink pepper and some other ingredients in there, but I'm choosing to focus on the ones that I really perceive with great force versus the ones that are kind of just sitting in the background and, you know, way receded in the back. Longevity is a good 8 hours on skin, so this one for that type of a DNA is quite good. Projection, fantastic for the first hour and a half of application. It did radiate beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 6, a skin scent right around hour 8. In terms of the versatility, masculine leaning according to traditional standards. I think this one is great for the hotter weather. I think this one is great dressed up or dressed down, and I can see this appealing to anybody of any age. The presentation on this one is also very, very nice. I like the attention to detail, and of course a lot of them have that gold plate on the front, but if you look at the back, you can see that this one is actually housed in a blue colored glass. My final verdict on this fragrance is, some people may consider it an alternative to Bleu de Chanel, and I think it would work really well, especially if you don't own Bleu de Chanel. I think if you have both, it could potentially be repetitive or redundant, unless of course you're seeking a brighter, more citrus-based experience. In that case, I think Blue Edition by Haramain is a wonderful fragrance to pick up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took something of value from today's episode. If you did, please do click the subscribe button, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up as well for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.